On a quiet, starry evening, when the world outside was slowing down and the moon was gently rising into the sky, little Ava tucked herself into bed with her favorite soft blanket. The night air was calm, the room was cozy, and everything felt safe and warm. But Ava's imagination was still awake, wandering into a dreamy land where magical adventures awaited. In this land, she discovered something very special, something soft, friendly, and unlike anything she had ever seen before. A dinosaur. But not a scary one, oh no. This dinosaur had the kindest eyes, the warmest smile, and a gentle heart that made Ava feel instantly at ease. He wasn't here to roar or stomp, but to be a friend, a companion in the calmest, sweetest bedtime adventure. As the rain whispered softly outside her window, Ava and her new dinosaur friend began a peaceful journey, through meadows that glowed in moonlight, forests where stars peeked between the trees, and cozy caves where fireflies twinkled like lanterns. This is not an exciting, rushed story. Instead, it is a soft, sleepy tale meant to help little ones like you relax, smile, and gently drift into dreams. Let's follow Ava and her friendly dinosaur, step by step, into the coziest sleepy adventure of all. Dragon ZZZ Crescent Moon. A cozy night begins. The rain outside Ava's window was soft and steady, like a gentle lullaby tapping on the glass. The little girl was curled up in her favorite blanket, the one with tiny stars printed all over it, and her stuffed toys rested quietly at the edge of her bed. The room smelled faintly of lavender from the night lamp her mother had lit, and everything felt safe, warm, and still. But Ava's mind was still awake. She loved imagining wonderful places just before drifting off to sleep. As she listened to the rain, she began to picture a meadow, wide and green, with tall trees swaying gently in the night breeze. The stars above sparkled like diamonds, and the moon seemed to smile just for her. Ava imagined walking barefoot on the soft grass, feeling the coolness under her toes. She took a deep breath, filling her lungs with fresh, calm night air. It was so peaceful, so quiet, that she felt as though the world was slowing down just for her. And that's when she heard it. A soft rustle in the bushes nearby. Not scary, not loud, just a gentle sound, like someone moving carefully, not wanting to frighten her. Ava's eyes grew wide with curiosity. Who, or what, could it be? Crescent moon sparkles. The gentle surprise. Ava stood very still in the meadow of her imagination, her blanket wrapped snugly around her shoulders. The rain outside her window made a soft rhythm, as though the whole world was encouraging her to keep dreaming. From the bushes came a low, gentle hum. Not frightening, almost like a purr. Slowly, the leaves parted, and a large, round nose peeked out. Then came two twinkling eyes, glowing softly in the moonlight. Ava gasped, but not out of fear. The creature was unlike anything she had ever seen before. It was a dinosaur. But not the kind from scary books or roaring movies. No, this dinosaur had the friendliest face she could imagine. Its skin was a soft shade of green, speckled with spots that looked like little raindrops. Its smile stretched wide, warm, and welcoming. The dinosaur tilted its head, as if to say hello. Then, in the gentlest voice Ava had ever heard, it spoke. Don't be afraid. My name is Nilo. I've been waiting for a friend like you." Ava's heart filled with excitement and comfort. She wasn't scared at all. In fact, she felt cozy, as though she'd known Nilo forever. Tonight, her sleepy adventure had truly begun. Crescent Moon ZZZ. A new friendship begins. Ava's eyes sparkled as she looked at Nilo, the friendly dinosaur. The rain outside her window tapped gently on the glass, but inside her dream, the meadow felt calm and safe. "Hello, Nilo," Ava whispered softly, almost afraid the dream might disappear if she spoke too loudly. The dinosaur lowered his head until his big round eyes were level with hers. "Hello, Ava," he said kindly. "I've been so lonely. I hoped one day someone would wander into my meadow and talk with me." Ava's heart filled with warmth. She smiled and reached out her tiny hand. Nilo carefully placed the tip of his nose against it, soft and cool, like touching a smooth stone by the river. "You don't have to be lonely anymore," Ava said. "I'll be your friend." Nilo's tail swished happily through the grass, making the flowers around him dance. "Then I'll keep you safe in your dreams," he promised. The two of them sat together beneath the glowing moonlight. Ava felt sleepier, but in the nicest way, like her heart was wrapped in a big, cozy hug. And with her new friend beside her, she knew her night was only going to grow more magical. Dragon Dizzy. The meadow of shimmering fireflies. As Ava and Nilo walked side by side, the dream meadow stretched wide and glowing. The grass swayed softly, whispering like a lullaby, and the stars above twinkled brighter than ever. "Where are we going?" Ava asked, holding onto one of Nilo's gentle claws. Nilo smiled, his eyes glowing with kindness. "There's a special place I want to show you, the meadow of shimmering fireflies. It's my favorite spot when I feel lonely. I think you'll love it too." Ava's heart fluttered with curiosity. She followed happily as they stepped through soft hills, the air filled with the scent of blooming flowers. Soon, tiny golden lights began to flicker in the distance. At first, there were just a few, dancing gently above the grass. But as they walked closer, hundreds of fireflies appeared, glowing and floating like little stars that had come down to play. Ava gasped. "It's like the sky fell to the ground." Nilo chuckled softly, his deep voice warm and soothing. "The fireflies know when a friend arrives. They are welcoming you, Ava." Ava reached out her hand, and one little firefly landed on her fingertip, glowing softly like a tiny lantern. She giggled, and in that moment, the whole meadow felt like a dream made just for her. A lullaby in the firefly meadow. The fireflies swirled around Ava and Nilo in slow, graceful patterns, as if they were painting the night with soft golden light. Ava twirled gently in the meadow, her arms outstretched, laughing as the tiny glowing creatures followed her movements like a sparkling dance. Nilo lowered himself onto the soft grass, his great tail curling around to make a cozy seat for Ava. "Sit here," he said warmly. "The meadow has a secret. If you listen closely, you'll hear its lullaby." Ava snuggled into the curve of his tail, resting her head against his smooth scales. She closed her eyes for a moment, and sure enough, she began to hear it, a faint, soothing hum that drifted on the night air. It wasn't music made by instruments, but by the meadow itself. The grass rustled in harmony, the breeze carried a gentle tune, and the fireflies blinked in rhythm, like tiny stars keeping time with the song. "It's beautiful," Ava whispered sleepily, her eyes growing heavy. Nilo rumbled a soft chuckle. "This lullaby is a gift. It only appears when hearts are calm and friends are near." Together, they sat in the golden glow, wrapped in warmth, listening to the lullaby of the firefly meadow as dreams gently began to weave around them. The dreaming river. The next morning, soft mist lingered across the meadow, curling like ribbons of silver. Nilo stretched his wings slowly, careful not to disturb Ava, who was still curled up against his tail. When she opened her sleepy eyes, the fireflies had already vanished with the night, leaving behind only the gentle glow of dawn. "Good morning, Ava," Nilo said warmly. "I want to show you something very special today." Ava rubbed her eyes, curious. "What is it?" With a playful sparkle in his eyes, Nilo led her down a winding path between tall trees. The air smelled of rain, cool and fresh, and soon they heard it, the soft, melodic sound of flowing water. As they stepped out from the forest, Ava gasped. Before them lay the most magical river she had ever seen. Its waters shimmered with hues of blue and silver, sparkling as though stars had fallen into it. The river seemed alive, its currents moving like gentle breaths, and every ripple whispered a secret. Nilo lowered his head. "This is the dreaming river. It holds the dreams of everyone who visits it. Some dreams drift away on its waters, while others return to us when we sleep." Ava knelt at the river's edge, dipping her fingers into the cool, glowing water. Instantly, tiny visions appeared, clouds shaped like castles, fields of flowers stretching endlessly, and soft lullabies floating on the breeze. "It's like touching dreams," Ava whispered in awe. Nilo smiled gently. "Yes. And tonight, the river will carry your sweetest dreams back to you." They sat together, watching the glowing river flow, feeling safe, calm, and ready for whatever magic awaited them next. Crescent Moon. The Rainbow Bridge. As the morning sun climbed higher, its rays touched the mist rising from the dreaming river. Suddenly, the mist shimmered and split into colors, soft blues, radiant golds, gentle pinks, and bright greens. Ava blinked in wonder as the colors bent and curved until they formed a glowing rainbow arch stretching from one side of the river to the other. "It's a bridge," Ava whispered, her voice filled with delight. Nilo nodded with a knowing smile. "The dreaming river makes this rainbow bridge for kind hearts. Only those who carry love, courage, and curiosity inside them can walk across." Ava's eyes sparkled. "Do you think I can walk on it?" "You must," Nilo replied warmly. "For every step you take, the rainbow will gift you a piece of joy." With Nilo walking beside her, Ava placed her foot carefully onto the shimmering arch. To her amazement, the rainbow felt solid beneath her feet, soft yet strong, like stepping onto a path of clouds. Each step released a gentle note, as if the colors themselves were singing. Red hummed warmly, orange giggled, yellow shone with laughter, and blue whispered a calming lullaby. Halfway across, Ava paused to gaze down at the river below. She saw more dream visions drifting in the water, children riding stars, gardens blooming in the sky, and friendly animals playing by moonlight. "This feels like walking through a dream," Ava said, her voice hushed. Nilo leaned down, his golden eyes reflecting the rainbow glow. "That's because you are." Together, they crossed to the far side, where the rainbow faded into a meadow of flowers that swayed as though greeting them. Ava felt lighter, as though the rainbow had left joy in her very footsteps. The meadow of singing flowers. As Ava and Nilo stepped off the rainbow bridge, the air grew sweeter, filled with a fragrance like honey and fresh rain. Before them stretched a meadow unlike anything Ava had ever seen. Tall blossoms of every color swayed gently, and as the breeze passed through, the flowers began to sing. Each blossom had its own voice, some soft like lullabies, some playful like laughter, and some deep and soothing like a hum. The meadow wasn't just alive with color, it was alive with music. Ava's eyes widened. "They're singing, Nilo. The flowers are singing to us." Nilo chuckled softly. "This is the meadow of singing flowers. They welcome travelers who come with gentle hearts. Listen closely, Ava, they often share secrets in their songs." Ava leaned closer to a soft blue tulip, which sang in a whispery tune. "Follow the light, follow the glow. To where the dream winds always go." Ava gasped. "It's giving us a clue." Just then, a cheerful daisy hopped out of the ground, shaking its petals free of dew. "Hello, Ava." "Hello, Nilo," it said in a tinkling little voice. "We've been waiting for you." Ava knelt down in surprise. "You can talk too?" "Of course we can," the daisy giggled. "And we love to help kind travelers. Ahead lies the dreamer's glade, a place where wishes sleep until someone believes in them. But beware, the path can only be found if you trust the song of the flowers." The meadow swayed as all the blossoms lifted their voices, blending into a gentle chorus. The melody wrapped around Ava like a warm blanket, guiding her heart more than her ears. She smiled, taking Nilo's hand. "I think I know the way," she whispered. Nilo nodded proudly. "Then lead on, Ava. The flowers trust you." Together, they stepped deeper into the singing meadow, following the music toward the next mystery waiting in the dream world. The dreamer's glade. The flowers' gentle chorus faded as Ava and Nilo followed the winding path. The meadow slowly gave way to a clearing, where the air shimmered like moonlight even though no sun or stars could be seen above. Before them stretched the dreamer's glade. It was unlike anything Ava had imagined. The grass glowed with a silver-blue light, soft and cool underfoot, while thousands of tiny glowing orbs floated lazily in the air, like fireflies drifting on invisible breezes. Ava reached out, and one of the orbs landed gently on her palm. It was warm, almost like a heartbeat. As she held it, the orb shimmered and showed a faint image, a child holding a kite, running through a golden field. "It's a dream," Nilo said softly. His voice carried a kind of reverence. "These are wishes and hopes, resting here until they find a dreamer to bring them to life." Ava's eyes sparkled. So this is where dreams sleep? Yes, Nilo nodded. Every glowing orb is a dream waiting to be believed in. Ava walked slowly, gazing at the floating orbs. Each one held a story, a painting unfinished, a song yet unsung, a journey not yet taken. The glade was alive with possibility. Suddenly, a larger orb drifted close to Ava. It glowed brighter than the others, with a soft golden light. When Ava touched it, she saw something incredible, a vision of herself and Nilo, walking together through the dream world, discovering wonders side by side. Her breath caught. Nilo, it's us. Nilo smiled gently, lowering his great head beside her. That means this dream belongs to you, Ava. The dream of friendship, adventure, and trust. It is already awake, because you believe in it. The glade seemed to glow brighter around them, as though the dreams themselves were happy for Ava's discovery. For the first time, Ava felt she truly belonged in this magical world. The secret beneath the glade. As Ava and Nilo wandered deeper into the dreamer's glade, the shimmering orbs began to drift lower, almost as if guiding them. The air grew quieter, and the glowing grass beneath their feet gave off a steady hum, like a lullaby rising from the earth itself. Nilo paused, tilting his head. Do you hear that? Ava nodded. The hum was different now. It wasn't just sound, it was calling them somewhere. She followed the vibration, her small hand brushing the glowing grass, until she noticed a circle of stones in the middle of the glade. Each stone pulsed softly with light, like a heartbeat in sync with the earth. Ava stepped into the circle, and the moment her foot touched its center, the ground rippled like water. She gasped but felt no fear, only warmth, as though the glade trusted her. Slowly, the earth parted to reveal a hidden spiral staircase made of crystal, glowing faintly in the soft blue light. It's a secret path, Ava whispered. Nilo leaned closer, his golden eyes reflecting the glow. The glade is showing you something, Ava. Something meant only for dreamers. Hand in claw, the two friends descended carefully. The deeper they went, the more the staircase shimmered, until it opened into a vast underground cavern. And there, right at the center, floated the most breathtaking sight Ava had ever seen, a giant crystal heart, glowing with the colors of all the dreams above. Each pulse of light sent ripples of calm through the cavern, and Ava instinctively knew. This was the heart of the dream world. Nilo lowered his voice, awestruck. Few ever see this, Ava. This is where every dream begins. Ava's heart swelled with wonder. She couldn't help but think, maybe she was part of this magic now. Whispers of the dreamworld heart. Ava and Nilo stood silently before the glowing crystal heart, its colors shifting like a rainbow caught in water. The gentle pulses seemed to breathe, filling the cavern with a soothing rhythm that matched the rise and fall of Ava's chest. She felt calmer than she ever had before, like the crystal was cradling her in a dream. Then, the air began to shimmer. Tiny threads of light unfurled from the heart and floated toward her. They wrapped softly around her hands, warm and weightless, like silk spun from moonlight. Ava gasped, but the sensation was comforting, almost as if the heart recognized her. Ava, whispered a voice, gentle and echoing, as though carried on the wind. She looked around quickly, but the sound seemed to come from everywhere at once. "Who's there?" she asked, her voice hushed. The crystal heart pulsed brighter. "I am the keeper of dreams. Every laugh, every hope, every peaceful slumber, flows through me. You have been brought here because you are a dreamer who listens, who believes." Ava's eyes widened. She glanced at Nilo, who gave her an encouraging nod. "Go on," he whispered softly. The voice continued, low and melodic. "The dream world grows dim when children forget the power of wonder. But with your heart, Ava, and with your friends' courage, you can help keep it alive. Carry the light of dreams, and you will never be alone." A soft glow spread from the crystal into Ava's chest, filling her with warmth that felt like pure love. She closed her eyes and breathed deeply, knowing this gift was special. When she opened them again, she noticed Nilo's scales now shimmered more brightly than before, as though he too had been touched by the heart's blessing. Nilo leaned down and whispered, "You see, Ava? You belong to this world just as much as I do." Ava smiled, feeling a new sense of peace settle over her. She wasn't just a visitor here, she was part of the dream world's story now. The dreamlight gift. With the crystal's glow still warm inside her, Ava followed Nilo out of the cavern. As they stepped into the forest again, the rain had softened into a silver mist, and every droplet seemed to shimmer with gentle light. It was as though the dream world itself was smiling. Ava glanced down and realized something incredible. Her fingertips glowed faintly, leaving a trail of soft golden sparkles wherever she touched. She brushed her hand over a fern, and its leaves twinkled as if kissed by stars. "The dreamlight," Nilo explained softly, watching her with admiration. "It is the gift of the heart. You can spread peace wherever you go now. Wherever your hand rests, dreams will bloom." Ava's heart swelled with joy. She knelt by a cluster of tiny mushrooms and gave them a gentle touch. Instantly, they glowed like little lanterns, lighting up the misty forest floor. Nilo chuckled, his deep, rumbling laugh echoing warmly through the trees. As they walked further, creatures of the forest began to emerge. A family of owls, their eyes glowing softly, perched on a branch. A sleepy fox peeked from its den. Each animal seemed comforted by the glow Ava carried, gathering closer without fear. For the first time, Ava felt as if she belonged here, not just as a visitor, but as a keeper of something precious. She reached up to the misty sky, letting the dreamlight flow from her fingertips into the air. The mist swirled and parted, revealing a soft glow of moonlight above. Nilo lowered his head beside her. "Ava, the dream world has chosen you." "And he paused, his eyes gentle, "I am so glad you came." Ava smiled, leaning against her friend's warm side. "Me too, Nilo. Me too." The forest, the mist, the moon, all seemed to hum in harmony, and Ava knew their journey was only just beginning. The Bridge of Mist. As the night deepened, Ava and Nilo followed the glowing trail of dreamlight that Ava's touch had left behind. The forest opened into a quiet clearing where the mist curled and danced like silver ribbons in the air. In the center of the clearing stretched something truly wondrous, a bridge made entirely of mist. It arched gracefully across a deep ravine, glowing softly as though woven from moonlight and dreams. Tiny sparkles drifted off its edges, floating into the air like fireflies. Ava gasped, holding Nilo's arm gently. "It's beautiful, but how can mist hold us?" Nilo's eyes glimmered with quiet wisdom. "This is the bridge of mist. It only appears to those who carry the dreamlight. The bridge is not built from stone or wood, it is built from trust. Step forward, Ava, and it will carry you." Her heart beat quickly, but she nodded. Carefully, she placed one small foot onto the glowing mist. To her amazement, it held her as firmly as solid ground, yet felt soft and cool beneath her steps, like walking on clouds. Nilo followed beside her, his massive form surprisingly light upon the shimmering bridge. Together they walked slowly, surrounded by silence except for the gentle hum of the dreamlight. Below them, the ravine was filled with rolling fog that seemed to whisper in hushed voices, carrying secrets of forgotten dreams. Halfway across, Ava paused. The view from here was breathtaking. The moon shone brighter above, reflecting on the mist as if the stars themselves had descended to walk with them. "This bridge," Nilo said softly, "connects the world of safe dreams to the world of forgotten ones. Once we cross, you will see places even I have never dared to go." Ava's eyes widened with wonder. She squeezed Nilo's hand. "Then let's be brave together." And with that, the two of them continued across, step by step, until the misty bridge began to dissolve behind them, sealing their path forward into mystery. The Garden of Glowing Flowers. As Ava and Nilo stepped off the bridge of mist, the world around them changed in the most enchanting way. The ground beneath their feet became soft and velvety, like a carpet of moss that glowed with a gentle green light. Before them stretched a breathtaking garden unlike anything Ava had ever seen. Enormous flowers bloomed in every shade of blue, violet, and gold. Their petals shimmered faintly, glowing as if sprinkled with starlight. Some flowers floated above the ground, drifting slowly in the air like lanterns, their roots trailing down like glowing threads. Ava's eyes widened in amazement. "It's magical." Nilo bent down so his gentle eyes were level with hers. "This is the Garden of Glowing Flowers. Every bloom here is the dream of someone, carried into this place to shine softly until morning comes." Ava reached out and touched a petal as light as air. The flower gave off a soft hum, like a lullaby, wrapping her heart in warmth. With each step she took, more flowers lit up, responding to her presence, as though they were happy to meet her. "Do you hear that?" she whispered. The flowers seemed to sing, a low, calming harmony that flowed through the air like the gentle sound of a harp. Nilo closed his eyes, listening. "Yes, they are welcoming you. You carry kindness, Ava, and the garden recognizes it." The two wandered deeper into the glowing field, where the air sparkled with floating pollen that looked like drifting golden stars. Ava felt herself becoming lighter with each breath, as though her worries were melting away. At the far edge of the garden stood a cluster of tall blossoms, glowing brighter than all the rest. They swayed together, almost as if bowing toward Ava and Nilo, beckoning them closer. Ava smiled softly. "I think they want to show us something." Hand in hand, Ava and Nilo stepped toward the heart of the glowing garden, ready for the next secret waiting to be revealed. The hidden doorway of light. As Ava and Nilo moved closer to the cluster of tall, glowing flowers, their light grew brighter, almost as if guiding the way. The blossoms leaned gently toward each other, their stems bending until they formed a delicate arch. Ava gasped softly. "It looks like a doorway." Nilo's tail swayed slowly behind him, brushing the glowing moss. "Yes," he rumbled in his calm, soothing voice. "The garden is opening a path for us. Only those who walk with gentle hearts can see it." The arch of flowers shimmered with threads of silver light, weaving together like flowing water. Beyond it, Ava could just barely see shapes shifting, tiny islands floating in the sky, glowing softly like lanterns drifting on the horizon. She held Nilo's massive paw, her small fingers resting against the warmth of his scales. "Do you think it's safe?" she asked in a whisper. Nilo's eyes glowed with reassurance. "The garden never leads travelers into harm, only into wonder. Let us step through together." The moment they passed under the glowing arch, Ava felt the ground shift gently. Beneath her, a cool breeze swept over her face, carrying the fragrance of starlit flowers. The mossy ground seemed to lift, transforming beneath their feet until it felt as though they were standing on a floating platform made of woven light. Ava looked down, eyes wide in amazement. Below them, the garden slowly drifted away, replaced by endless skies filled with drifting, glowing islands. Each one was different, some covered in forests of golden leaves, some surrounded by waterfalls that flowed into the open air, and others shaped like sleeping animals, glowing softly in the dark. Her heart fluttered with awe. "It's a world in the clouds." Nilo lowered his head and whispered, "Welcome to the floating islands, Ava. Few have ever walked this path." As they floated gently toward the first island, Ava realized the glowing garden had not only opened a doorway, but also revealed a whole new adventure, one that seemed to stretch as far as dreams themselves. The floating library of dreams. The shimmering platform of light carried Ava and Nilo gently toward the nearest island. As they drew closer, Ava noticed towering spires rising into the air, shaped not of stone but of books. Thousands of enormous tomes stacked neatly upon each other, glowing faintly as if their pages held captured starlight. Her mouth opened in awe. It's a library. A library floating in the sky." Nilo's deep chuckle rumbled softly. "Yes, Ava. This is the library of dreams. It holds stories whispered by stars, songs carried by the wind, and the forgotten dreams of every gentle soul." They stepped off the glowing platform, their feet sinking into soft, cloud-like ground. The air was cool but soothing, filled with the faint rustle of pages turning themselves. The books shifted and floated lazily, drifting from shelf to shelf as if searching for the right place to rest. A book the size of Ava's head floated down in front of her. Its cover shimmered with shifting colors, blue, then silver, then soft lavender. It hovered patiently, waiting. She reached out and placed her hand gently on the cover. Immediately, a warm glow wrapped around her fingers, and the book opened on its own. Inside, she didn't see words, but moving pictures, dreams unfolding like gentle plays of light. She saw a meadow under endless twilight, children laughing as fireflies carried lanterns, and a river that sang lullabies as it flowed. Her eyes widened. These aren't stories, they're dreams. Nilo's tail swished thoughtfully as he nodded. Every dream ever dreamt drifts here, waiting to be remembered or shared. Some are forgotten, some are still waiting for their dreamers. Ava hugged the glowing book close to her chest. Maybe I can borrow one, for tonight. Nilo smiled, his scales glistening faintly under the library's glow. Dreams are never borrowed, Ava. They are gifts. And the library has just given you one. A hush fell over the floating island, as if the library itself approved. Ava felt safe, held in the embrace of endless stories, knowing that tonight, she would dream dreams gifted by the stars themselves. The Whispering Staircase. As Ava closed the glowing book, it floated gently back into the air, humming softly as if saying goodbye. She turned to Nilo, her eyes sparkling. This place is full of secrets, isn't it? Nilo tilted his head, his golden eyes reflecting the shimmering glow of the library. Every dream holds a secret, little one. And sometimes, those secrets reveal themselves only when you are ready. Just then, a faint sound drifted through the air, like whispers carried on the wind. Ava's ears perked up. Did you hear that? The whispers grew clearer, weaving together into a gentle song. It seemed to come from the edge of the cloud floor. Ava and Nilo walked toward the sound, and there, hidden behind a drifting curtain of glowing books, was something extraordinary. A staircase. But not just any staircase. It was made of moonlight and soft silver mist, each step glowing faintly. As the whispers continued, the steps shimmered and shifted, stretching endlessly upward into the sky. The voices sang softly. Climb, little dreamer. Climb, gentle heart. New wonders await where dreams first start. Ava's breath caught in her throat. It's calling us. Nilo lowered his massive head to meet her gaze. The whispering staircase only appears to those the library trusts. If you choose to climb, Ava, you may see realms of dreams no one has ever seen before. A shiver of excitement mixed with calm washed over her. She placed her small foot on the first glowing step. It held her gently, warm like a blanket fresh from the sun. She turned back to Nilo and smiled. Come on, she whispered. Let's see where the dreams want to take us. With Nilo's heavy yet careful steps following behind, the two began their ascent, the whispers guiding them higher and higher into the endless night sky. The cloud garden of singing flowers. Step by step, Ava and Nilo climbed the whispering staircase. The whispers grew softer, fading into a gentle hum, until finally, the staircase opened onto a vast garden made entirely of clouds. The ground was pillowy and soft, like walking on the fluffiest marshmallows. But what caught Ava's attention most were the flowers, hundreds of them, sprouting from the mist itself. Their petals shimmered with soft colors, lavender, silver blue, golden cream, and each one swayed gently as though a breeze were passing through. Then, to Ava's delight, the flowers began to sing. Not loudly, not sharply, but in the gentlest hums and lullabies. Each flower carried a different note, and together, they created the most soothing melody Ava had ever heard. It was as though the garden itself was alive, singing a bedtime song for anyone who entered. Ava knelt beside a glowing, pale blue bloom and touched its petal. The flower sang louder, and she felt warmth spread through her chest, like a hug that filled her from the inside out. "They're dream flowers," Nilo said softly, lowering his head to listen. "Each one holds a dream from a child somewhere in the world. When they bloom, they sing that dream into the sky, so it can reach the stars." Ava's eyes widened. "So, the stars are filled with children's dreams?" Nilo smiled. "Exactly." Ava lay down on the soft cloud ground, listening to the melody. It wrapped around her like a blanket, and for a moment, she felt as if she were floating through every dream in the world, gentle, kind, and safe. One flower near her glowed brighter than the rest, its song rising above the others, calling to her. Ava reached toward it slowly, wondering what dream it might hold. The dream inside the flower. The glowing flower's light shimmered like moonbeams captured in a single petal. Ava's fingers hovered above it, unsure if she should touch it. But the flower's song was so sweet, so inviting, that she leaned closer and gently brushed its glowing edge. In an instant, the garden around her melted away. Ava found herself standing inside the dream. She was in a meadow beneath a sky filled with stars. But these were not ordinary stars, they twinkled in shapes of animals, like glowing constellations alive with movement. A fox leapt from one constellation to another, a giant whale swam across the night, and birds made of starlight flapped their wings softly. The meadow was covered in little lanterns that floated up like fireflies. Each one carried laughter, smiles, and warmth. Ava heard children's voices echoing around her, but they weren't scary or loud, they were gentle, giggling softly, like echoes of happiness. Nilo appeared beside her in the dream, his big eyes shining. "This is a dream of joy," he explained. "A child somewhere wished for a night filled with stars that could play with them." Ava twirled, her arms spread wide, and as she did, the starlight animals spun around her in a dance. A fox brushed past her legs, leaving trails of glowing sparkles. She laughed, the sound blending with the children's giggles in the air. For a moment, Ava forgot everything else, the staircase, the journey, even the cloud garden. She was part of the dream now, safe and wrapped in its magic. But then the lantern started drifting higher, floating toward the heavens. The dream was fading. Nilo whispered, "Dreams never last forever. But they always leave behind a little piece of light in your heart." As the last lantern rose into the starry sky, Ava felt herself being gently pulled back toward the glowing flower, back toward the garden of singing blossoms. When she opened her eyes again, she was lying on the soft cloud ground. The flower had dimmed, its dream shared. Ava pressed her hand to her chest and smiled, holding that little spark of light inside her. The river of blossoms. Ava sat up slowly, still feeling the warmth of the dream glowing in her chest. The garden of flowers stretched endlessly before her, each bloom humming a gentle lullaby. She noticed something she hadn't seen before, a narrow stream winding its way through the clouds, shimmering like liquid moonlight. But instead of carrying water, the stream carried petals. Thousands of tiny glowing petals drifted across its surface, floating gently downstream as if the river itself were made of flowers. Some petals sparkled silver, some glowed soft pink, and others shone pale blue like the dawn. Ava's eyes widened. "It's so beautiful, but where does it go?" she whispered. Nilo padded to her side and peered at the glowing stream. "This is the river of blossoms," he explained softly. "It gathers the dreams of flowers once they have finished singing. The petals carry those dreams far away, until they reach the place where new stars are born." Ava leaned closer, and as she did, one petal floated toward her. It glowed brighter as it touched her hand, and in that instant, a tiny dream unfolded in her mind. She saw a little cottage by the sea, with waves humming a lullaby. As a child slept soundly inside. The vision was brief but comforting, wrapping her heart in peace. She gasped softly. "Every petal is someone's dream." Nilo nodded with a slow smile. "Yes. They travel together, carried by the river, never lost, only transformed." Ava dipped her fingers into the stream, and the petals swirled around her hand like playful fish. For a moment, she thought she heard whispers, tiny voices of dreams thanking her for noticing them. The sound of the river was unlike anything she had ever heard. It wasn't rushing or loud, it was a gentle, endless hush, like the sound of falling rain, a perfect rhythm to soothe her soul. As Ava and Nilo followed the river's curve, they noticed it seemed to lead somewhere brighter, where the cloud path shimmered more strongly. The gentle pull of the current seemed to invite them forward, guiding them deeper into the garden's mysteries. Ava smiled, her eyes sleepy but full of wonder. "Let's follow it, Nilo. I think it's leading us to something even more magical." And so, with the blossoms drifting at their side, they began their quiet journey along the glowing stream of dreams. The Starry Bridge. The river of blossoms wound gently through the cloud garden, its soft glow casting ripples of light that danced across Ava's cheeks. She and Nilo walked quietly beside it, their steps falling into the rhythm of the river's hush. The petals floated onward with such calm determination, as though they knew exactly where they were meant to go. After some time, Ava noticed the clouds ahead beginning to glow more brightly, as though touched by starlight. The air shimmered, and the stream widened until it became a luminous pool. From the pool rose something extraordinary, a bridge woven entirely of starlight. It arched gracefully across the sky, each step shimmering as though it were spun from silver threads and the glow of 1,000 fireflies. The petals drifted gently onto the bridge, melting into its surface, making it sparkle even more. Ava's eyes widened in awe. "It's a bridge made of stars." Nilo nodded slowly, his tail swishing softly. "This is the Starry Bridge. The river of blossoms brings dreams here, so they can travel safely across the sky to their new home among the constellations." The moment Ava placed her foot on the bridge, she felt warmth rise through her, as though the stars themselves were welcoming her. Each step gave a faint musical note, like a lullaby hidden inside the night. She paused to listen, her heart slowing, her body relaxing as the song of the bridge carried her deeper into peace. Hand in paw, Ava and Nilo walked along the glowing arc. Beneath them, endless clouds drifted, and above, countless stars twinkled in patterns Ava had never seen before, gentle shapes of hearts, blossoms, and even playful dinosaurs. Nilo's voice was soft, almost like a whisper carried on the wind. Every dream that crosses this bridge becomes a light in the sky. When you look up at night, Ava, remember that you're never alone. The stars are made of dreams, dreams just like yours. Ava's eyes glistened. She had never felt so safe, so connected to the universe around her. The bridge stretched on like a promise, guiding her and her gentle dinosaur friend towards something even more magical. The Dream Haven. The starry bridge carried Ava and Nilo higher and higher, its gentle glow wrapping them in a cocoon of peace. Each step felt softer than the one before, as though the stars themselves wanted to lull them into rest. The soft hum of the bridge's melody faded into a hush as they reached its end, and what awaited them there made Ava's breath catch. Before them stretched the Dream Haven, a hidden sanctuary suspended among the clouds. It was more beautiful than anything Ava could have imagined. Glowing lanterns floated in the air like friendly fireflies, casting warm golden halos. Flowers of every color bloomed from cloud pillows, releasing sweet scents that drifted lazily through the air. Tiny streams of silver mist wound between the blossoms, their soft trickles blending into a soothing lullaby. In the center stood a great tree, its branches sparkling with dream crystals, each one pulsing softly like a heartbeat. The tree's trunk was wide and gentle, glowing with warmth, and its roots spread out across the haven like protective arms. Ava could feel its calm energy the moment she stepped closer, as if it were welcoming her into its embrace. Nilo's voice was low and tender. "This is where dreams are born, Ava. Every child's laughter, every whisper of hope, every wish upon a star, they all gather here and grow into light." Ava reached out and touched one of the glowing blossoms at the tree's base. It pulsed gently, as if it were alive, and when she closed her eyes, she heard a faint giggle, a dream from a child somewhere in the world. She smiled, her heart swelling with warmth. The haven seemed endless, but not overwhelming. It was soft, calm, and safe, like a blanket for the soul. Ava felt her body grow lighter, her mind quiet, and her eyelids heavy. For the first time, she understood that dreams were more than stories, they were gifts, shared by everyone who closed their eyes at night. Nilo lowered himself beside her, curling his long tail around her like a protective cushion. "Rest here, little one," he murmured. The Dream Haven was made for peace. Ava leaned against him, gazing at the shimmering tree and glowing sky. The haven held her gently, and she felt the edges of sleep brushing against her. The secret chamber of dreams. Ava's eyelids fluttered as sleep tugged at her, but something about the great glowing tree kept her awake a little longer. Its crystal branches shimmered gently, and its roots seemed to whisper secrets into the mist. She tilted her head, noticing a faint glow at the base of the trunk, as though the tree was hiding something deep inside. "Nilo," she whispered softly, nudging his scaly arm. "Do you see that light?" The dinosaur opened one eye, his voice rumbling low and calm. "Ah, you've noticed what most pass by. That, Ava, is the entrance to the secret chamber of dreams." Her curiosity sparked, even though her body felt heavy with drowsiness. Together, they stepped closer to the trunk. As they touched the glowing bark, the surface shimmered and melted away like mist, revealing a small doorway carved out of light. It seemed to invite them in, warm and safe. Inside, Ava gasped. The chamber was like stepping into a crystal heart. Thousands of tiny dream orbs floated in the air, each one glowing in different colors. Some were bright golden, others deep blue, some twinkled pink or soft green. Each orb pulsed like it was alive, filled with whispers and gentle laughter. These, Nilo explained in a hushed tone, are the oldest dreams of all. Kept safe in this chamber, they wait for the right moment to be given to someone who needs them most. A lonely heart might receive a dream of friendship. A worried soul might find peace in a dream of calm waters. They are treasures of hope. Ava reached out carefully, her small hand brushing against one glowing orb. It hummed softly, and for a moment she saw an image, herself, curled up in bed back home, wrapped in warmth, smiling in her sleep. It filled her with comfort so strong that tears welled gently in her eyes. "This place," Ava whispered, "it feels like love itself." Nilo nodded slowly. "Because it is." They sat there together in silence, surrounded by floating orbs of light, the chamber humming like a gentle lullaby. Ava's heart slowed, her breathing softened, and the dreams wrapped around her like a blanket, carrying her toward the edge of the deepest sleep. Ava's special dream orb. Ava's eyes wandered among the thousands of glowing orbs, each one humming with its own melody, each carrying whispers of untold dreams. Some twinkled like stars, others glowed like lanterns floating on a gentle stream. She felt as though the room itself was breathing, alive with endless comfort. Then, from the far corner of the chamber, one orb began to shine brighter than the rest. It wasn't the golden glow of sunlight, nor the deep blue of night. Instead, it shimmered with a soft blend of silver and lavender, like moonlight wrapped in a cozy blanket. Nilo noticed it too. His deep, soothing voice rumbled, "That one. Ava, that orb has chosen you." Her small heart skipped, not from fear, but from wonder. Slowly, she stepped closer. The orb floated toward her, as though it knew her name, her story, her quiet wishes. Ava reached out with both hands, and the orb settled gently into her palms, warm, weightless, and pulsing like a heartbeat. As she held it, the orb unfolded like a flower, spilling soft rays of light around her. Inside the glow, Ava saw visions, her family smiling as they tucked her into bed, the laughter of friends she hadn't met yet, and herself walking peacefully with Nilo through endless meadows. A gentle voice whispered from the light, "You are safe. You are loved. And no matter where your journey takes you, you will never be alone." Tears filled her eyes, not of sadness, but of joy and comfort. She pressed the glowing dream orb close to her chest, and the warmth spread through her body like a lullaby made of light. Nilo leaned down, his eyes kind and glowing. "That dream was meant for you, Ava. It will always live inside your heart." Ava nodded sleepily, her lids heavy now. "It feels like home." The chamber seemed to sigh in agreement, wrapping them both in its soft, dreamlike glow. The hidden path of eternal dreams. As Ava cradled her glowing dream orb, the chamber began to shimmer around her. The walls of light rippled like water touched by a gentle breeze. She blinked, noticing that the golden floor beneath her feet was shifting, revealing a trail of glowing footprints that seemed to stretch deeper into the chamber. Nilo tilted his head thoughtfully, his enormous eyes reflecting the glow. "Ah, the path of eternal dreams," he murmured, his voice like a deep lullaby. "Few ever see it, Ava. It only appears to those with the purest heart." Ava gasped softly. The footprints looked as though they had been left by children long ago, small, soft impressions glowing like moonbeams on sand. She placed her foot upon the first print, and it fit perfectly, as if it had been waiting for her. The moment she stepped forward, the orb in her hands pulsed warmly, casting silver lavender light that illuminated the path ahead. Nilo followed slowly, his footsteps so large and steady that they seemed to form an anchor of safety behind her. As they walked, the chamber walls melted into something new, a tunnel of stars. The floor beneath them sparkled like crystal, and soft voices hummed from the walls, like a choir of dreams. Ava leaned closer to Nilo. "What's down this path?" she whispered. Nilo smiled, his teeth glowing faintly in the starlight. "It leads to the place where dreams never fade. Every dream that comforts, every dream that heals, it lives here forever. If you listen carefully, you'll hear the dreams singing to you." Ava closed her eyes for a moment. She heard them, gentle, soothing whispers. Some were dreams of laughter, others of adventures in faraway lands, and some were simply of warm beds on rainy nights. Each dream wrapped around her like a blanket, filling her with calm. The path seemed endless, yet Ava felt no fear. Only wonder, only comfort, only peace. Hand in hand with her glowing orb and side by side with her friendly dinosaur, she walked further into the hidden magic of the eternal dreams. The Dream Garden. The glowing footprints led Ava and Nilo into an open space, wider than any cavern she had seen before. As the starlit tunnel faded, Ava gasped in awe. Before her stretched a magnificent dream garden. The garden shimmered with colors too soft and luminous to exist in the waking world. Flowers glowed with gentle halos, lavender blossoms that sang in whispers, roses whose petals looked like they were painted with moonlight, and tall lilies that bent as though bowing in welcome. A river of silver mist flowed quietly through the garden, its waters sparkling with flecks of starlight. Nilo lowered his long neck, inhaling deeply. "Ah," he sighed with contentment, his warm breath making the glowing flowers sway. "The dream garden is where all peaceful dreams are born. Each flower, each tree, carries a dream that has touched someone's heart." Ava reached out and gently touched a flower that looked like a tiny blue lantern. It glowed brighter beneath her fingers, and suddenly she heard the soft laughter of a child playing with their parents on a warm summer afternoon. Her eyes widened in wonder. "This flower holds a dream?" she asked in awe. Nilo nodded. "Yes. And when that dream is dreamed again, the flower blossoms even brighter." As they walked further, Ava saw trees with golden leaves, their branches hung with tiny crystal-like fruits. Each fruit pulsed faintly with color, and when one dropped into the silver river, the ripples carried it away, scattering sparkling light across the garden. Nilo explained softly, "Those are dreams ready to be shared with the world. Tonight, someone far away will dream one of these fruits." Ava's heart warmed at the thought. She wandered through the garden slowly, letting every step sink her deeper into a sense of peace. The orb in her hands pulsed gently, resonating with the glowing flowers, as though it, too, belonged here. In that moment, Ava felt a deep calm settle over her. She had found a place where all dreams lived forever, a sanctuary of peace and endless wonder. The Dream Keeper. As Ava and Nilo wandered deeper into the dream garden, the silver river curved into a quiet glade, where the air grew softer and filled with the faint hum of music, like lullabies carried on the wind. The glowing flowers swayed, as if waiting for someone. Then, from the mist, a gentle figure appeared. It was tall and cloaked in robes woven from shimmering threads of starlight. Its face was kind, lined with timeless wisdom, and its eyes glowed like the soft silver of the moon. In one hand, it carried a lantern that held 1,000 flickering lights, dreams dancing inside like fireflies. Nilo lowered his head respectfully. "Ava, this is the Dream Keeper, guardian of the garden and protector of all dreams." The Dream Keeper's voice was calm, like distant rain on leaves. "Welcome, little dreamer. You have wandered far, guided by curiosity and courage. Not many are allowed to enter this sacred place, yet the garden opened its heart for you." Ava clutched her glowing orb, which now shone brighter in the keeper's presence. "Why did it bring me here?" she asked softly. The Dream Keeper knelt down so that its glowing eyes were level with hers. "Because every dreamer carries a gift. Some are meant to imagine, some are meant to heal, and some are meant to share light with others. This orb has chosen you, Ava, because you have a gentle heart. You can carry peace where it is needed most." The lantern at the keeper's side flickered, and one of its lights floated out, drifting like a tiny star toward Ava. It merged with her orb, making it shimmer in soft gold and silver hues. "This," the keeper continued, "is the dream of kindness. With it, you may comfort others, even in their darkest nights." Ava's chest filled with warmth as she nodded. She felt honored, and more than anything, she felt safe. Nilo rumbled happily beside her. "You see, Ava, this journey was never only about exploring. It was about discovering the dream inside of you." The Dream Keeper's lantern glowed brighter, as though blessing her presence. "But the path is not yet finished, child. Before you leave, you must walk through the mirror of dreams and see what awaits you beyond." A hush fell over the garden. Ava felt both nervous and excited as she prepared for the next step of her magical journey. The mirror of dreams. Hand in hand, or rather, hand in claw, Ava and Nilo followed the Dream Keeper through the glowing garden. The flowers leaned toward them, releasing tiny sparks of light that floated like lanterns above the path, guiding them forward. The silver river beside them grew still, and its surface reflected the stars as though the entire night sky had poured itself into the water. At the end of the path stood a tall, arched mirror, framed not in wood or stone but in twisting vines of crystal. The mirror itself shimmered like liquid moonlight, rippling gently as though it were made from water instead of glass. Ava's eyes widened. "It's beautiful, but why does it feel like it's alive? The dream keeper's voice was soft, like a lullaby. Because it is. This is the mirror of dreams. It shows not what you are, but who you are becoming. It reveals the dream that sleeps deepest inside your heart. Nilo lowered his head, nudging Ava gently. Don't be afraid. The mirror will only show you truth, and truth is never meant to harm. Ava stepped closer. As she peered into the glowing surface, her reflection began to ripple and change. Instead of a little girl in her cozy pajamas, she saw herself standing tall, holding the gold-and-silver orb high above her head. Around her, children and creatures of all kinds gathered, smiling, laughing, and resting peacefully under the warmth of its light. She gasped softly. It's me, but I'm helping others sleep, helping them dream. The dream keeper nodded. That is your gift, Ava. Your kindness becomes light for others. Your imagination becomes the bridge that carries them into peaceful rest. The orb in her hands pulsed with a golden glow, resonating with the mirror. The two lights, her orb and the mirror's rippling surface, seemed to merge, filling the glade with a soothing hum that wrapped around Ava like a blanket. Nilo rumbled happily, his eyes glistening. Now you see what I've always known, Ava. You were meant to shine. The mirror shimmered one last time, then quieted, its surface returning to calm silver. Ava stepped back, her heart warm and full. She felt braver, kinder, and more connected than ever before. The farewell blessing. The stars above glimmered brighter, as if the heavens themselves were leaning closer to witness Ava's journey. After the vision in the mirror of dreams, the air felt calmer, heavier in a comforting way, like the quiet before falling into deep sleep. Ava held the glowing orb gently, its warmth pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat. The dream keeper raised her delicate, silver-lit hands. Ava and Nilo, your path in this dream is nearly complete. Before you return to your own world of rest, I shall give you a blessing, so that peace will always find you when you close your eyes. She touched her hand to Ava's forehead. A wave of golden starlight drifted into her, sinking deeper than thought, deeper than memory, until it felt as though her very breath carried calm. Ava's eyelids grew heavy, but in the most comforting way, like sinking into a favorite blanket on a rainy night. Then the dream keeper knelt beside Nilo, her fingers brushing his scaled brow. And for you, gentle guardian, courage shall always be soft enough to bring comfort, and strong enough to bring protection. Nilo exhaled a long, low purr that vibrated through the earth, his massive eyes closing in serenity. Now, the dream keeper whispered, it is time to say farewell. Ava's heart squeezed. She looked up at Nilo. Do we really have to go? Nilo lowered his head so she could wrap her arms around him one last time. His scales, though cool to the touch, radiated a steady, grounding strength. Goodbyes are never forever, Ava. I will live on in your dreams. Every time the rain falls softly on your window, or the stars peek through your curtains, I'll be there. Ava smiled through sleepy eyes. Then I'll dream of you every night. The dream keeper's voice carried. Like a lullaby. Close your eyes, child. Let the dream carry you home. A hush fell across the glade, and Ava felt herself drifting, her hand still holding the faint glow of the orb, her head resting against Nilo's soft, scaled side. The world began to blur, the forest folding gently into darkness. The journey home. The forest around Ava began to dissolve, as though every tree, every star, every drop of moonlight was made of gentle mist, folding into the night. She held tightly to Nilo's side, but even his great body now felt lighter, fading into the shimmer of dreams. The dream keeper's voice lingered softly in the air, like a lullaby carried on the wind. Sleep, little dreamer. Return to where you belong. The magic is never lost, it travels with you. Ava closed her eyes, and the glow of the orb she held slowly melted into her chest, becoming a warm, steady light that seemed to beat in time with her heart. She felt weightless, as if floating on a river of stars, the current carrying her gently back. When she opened her eyes again, she was tucked into her cozy little bed, her blankets snug around her shoulders. The sound of rain pattered softly against the window, and a faint breeze swayed the curtains. For a moment, she almost thought she could hear the deep, rumbling purr of her dinosaur friend. Ava smiled, her eyelids heavy with the sweetest sleep. She whispered into the quiet room, "Good night, Nilo." Somewhere far away, or perhaps just inside her dreams, Nilo's gentle voice answered, "Good night, Ava." And with that, Ava drifted into the deepest, safest slumber, carrying the magic of friendship and the calm of the dream world within her forever. The soft glow of morning dreams. As Ava slept, her dreams carried her across rolling hills of starlight and fields painted in soft hues of lavender and silver. The friendly dinosaur walked beside her still, his steps so quiet that they barely stirred the glowing grass beneath their feet. The dreamscape was hushed, not with emptiness, but with comfort, the way the world feels just before morning when the night is at its gentlest. Every star above shimmered like a lantern, guiding Ava deeper into rest. Nilo lowered his great head and whispered, his voice like a lullaby, "Even when you wake, I will be here. In every dream, in every soft breath of sleep, you can always find me." Ava reached out and touched the side of his scaled cheek, which was warm and smooth, like polished stone under the sun. She felt safe, entirely and completely. Her worries had melted away like snow touched by dawn. The dream unfolded slowly, wrapping around her like a blanket. And even as she drifted further, the only thing Ava felt was peace, the kind of peace that stays in your heart, even long after morning comes. The meadow of eternal rest. The dream carried Ava and Nilo into a vast meadow where the grass swayed like lullabies, each blade shimmering with dewdrops that reflected soft colors of dawn. The air was cool and sweet, carrying a gentle fragrance of wildflowers that calmed her heart even more. In this meadow, time did not matter. Each moment stretched slowly, as if the world itself wanted Ava to rest. She felt her body growing lighter, as though the earth was holding her in its gentle embrace, making sure she had nothing to fear. Nilo walked quietly by her side, his deep breath steady, like the rhythm of waves against the shore. His presence was a reminder that she was never alone, that dreams could be companions, and sleep could be a safe adventure. They lay down together beneath a great silver tree, its leaves glowing softly as they whispered with the wind. Ava closed her eyes, feeling the warmth of the dinosaur beside her, and drifted even deeper into comfort. The meadow hummed with silence, a silence so pure that it carried her further into the embrace of sleep. The cradle of the stars. As Ava rested beneath the silver tree, her dream carried her upward, almost as though the meadow itself had become a soft cradle lifting her higher into the sky. Above her, the stars shimmered gently, not sharp or dazzling, but calm and kind, each one glowing like a lantern meant to soothe. Nilo stretched out beside her, his great form blending into the stillness, his steady heartbeat echoing like a lullaby in the background of the night. Ava listened, her own breaths matching his, slow and quiet, as if the universe itself was teaching her how to let go. The stars seemed to rock her, back and forth, until even her thoughts grew soft and hazy. No worries could reach her here, no noise, no hurry, only the hush of the cosmos, the gentle rhythm of the world at rest. In this cradle of the stars, Ava felt safe, cherished, and completely at peace. She let her body grow heavy, her mind lighter still, until sleep wrapped around her like the warmest blanket. The dream of endless meadows. The cradle of stars slowly faded into a dream that stretched out endlessly before Ava, rolling. Green meadows kissed by moonlight, flowers glowing with a soft, silver hue, and streams that sang in hushed tones as they wound across the land. Everything shimmered as though it were woven from the gentlest threads of light. Nilo walked at her side, his steps light and soundless, though he was vast and strong. His presence was steady, grounding, like a guardian made from the earth itself. The meadow seemed to welcome them, opening pathways lined with blossoms that nodded as though in greeting. Ava felt weightless, her mind quiet, her heart soothed. Every part of this dream seemed designed to help her release the last threads of wakefulness, soft winds brushing her cheeks, warm grass beneath her bare feet, and the distant song of night birds calling in rhythms that calmed her further and further. She realized then that this was not just any dream, but a gift, the meadow of endless rest, where she could always return whenever she needed comfort. She smiled, eyes half closed, knowing sleep was just a heartbeat away. A gentle goodbye. As the stars above slowly dimmed into the soft glow of dawn, Ava found herself sinking deeper into the dream meadow, where every blade of grass hummed with peace and every flower glowed with calm. The world no longer felt separate from her, it embraced her, as if she were a part of its gentle rhythm. Nilo lowered himself beside her, folding his great wings like a protective blanket. His eyes, warm and kind, reflected the starlight one last time before closing. "Rest now, Ava," he whispered, though his voice was as soft as the breeze. "This meadow will always wait for you. I will always be here." Ava curled against him, her tiny hand resting on his scaled side. She felt the steady, comforting rise and fall of his breath, like a lullaby without words, a heartbeat of the earth itself. The dream meadow grew quieter, the streams slowing to a hush, the flowers folding gently for sleep. All sounds, all sights, all thoughts dissolved into stillness. Ava smiled, her last waking thought a whisper of gratitude, for friendship, for adventure, for peace. Then, with the gentlest sigh, she drifted into the deepest, coziest sleep of all. Crescent moon sparkles, the story ends, but her dreams continue.